Thanks for joining us for another Tantrum House crowdfunding conniption. Today we're looking at Shallow Sea from Bad Comet.
And as always, we want to make sure you are aware that our crowdfunded videos are sponsored in part by our own Kickstarter backers, as well as by the creators of this game. Hey gang, and welcome to Tantrum House Studio 3. I'm Will Meadows.
And I'm Sara Meadows, and today we're looking at the game Shallow Sea from Bad Comet. It's from designer CWU.
This is a 1 to 4 player tableau, drafting, set collection, tile placement game. It's coming to Kickstarter soon, and we were able to get a prototype copy of the game to check out. So let's take a look at how it's played.
To set up the game, give each player their ocean board and 2 of their 5 seashells.
Construct the coral, fish, and sea life bags for your player count, and place out 5 of each.
Select 2 ecosystem cards, and then in reverse turn order, each player selects and places a sea life tile in their ocean, and then you're ready to begin.
On your turn, select 1 tile and the fish above or below it. Tiles must be placed adjacent to another tile in the ocean, and they can be rotated.
Fish can be placed on any bubble touching a tile.
Coral can be completed by placing matching fish on each side. When finished, it is then flipped, and one of those fish are placed on top.
Sea life tiles require completed coral or fish in a specific configuration, and they are flipped as well once they're completed.
For example, this octopus needs 3 matching completed coral in a row to score.
And this whale needs 3 different fish surrounding it to score.
Every time a tile is completed, a seashell is gained. They can be used to clear a row in the market, take a fish from a different column when drafting your tile, or 2 can be spent to move a fish in your ocean.
Play continues until all but 4 spaces on your board are filled. Points are then tallied for completed tiles, ecosystem cards, partially completed sea life tiles, and for having a variety of sea life.
And then the player with the most points wins. Shallow Sea Great Barrier Reef is coming to Kickstarter soon, and in the game, players will be attempting to build out their own ocean ecosystem. They'll be drafting different large animals, as well as gaining bunches of little fish that they'll be populating their board with, attempting to score a bunch of score tiles with.
Yeah, and your ecosystem, the more variety you have, possibly the more points you'll score along the way. Like several other drafting games with tiles, you're going to take 2 things from the center, always a fish, and 1 of the tiles above or below. And depending on which type of tile it is how it's going to score. So the coral are going to need the fish, specific colors around it. And once those are completed, they're just worth straight points. And then you'll probably also have an ecosystem card that will give some type of additional bonus for the types of coral that you have.
Now, like the game Verdant, which has some similar mechanics to this game, you are attempting to build out a specific type of tableau in front of you. However, this game kind of allows you to make some specific choices yourself because you are going to be drafting those point scoring tiles. Basically, every tile in the game has a point value if you can complete it. However, you will be trying to build patterns, and in most cases, if you're savvy at it, you're going to be able to kind of double up on the way you lay out your tiles and your score tiles in order to be able to score bigger points at the end of the game.
Yeah, the box is going to come with a number of different sea life tiles, and you're going to pick a few that you're going to play with in your game. So most games are going to play with about half of what comes in the box. So that's going to vary because that is how you're going to need to build the different pieces of coral arranged around on your board. And then it is also going to come with several different ecosystem cards, and so you'll mix and match whichever 2 you would like to play with for your game as well, so giving you a little bit of variety in how you're going to, the things you're going to need to do to win the game.
A lot of variety can be experienced in the way that you spend your shells on your turn. That was one of the things I appreciated about the game, is that they give you a lot of different abilities. You can do the typical things like flush the market and re-put out new tiles with them. You can also use them to move your fish around, and so as you complete a tile and you flip it over, typically, if you've done it well, you're going to have 4 different fish around that tile. One of those is going to go on the tile to mark that it's completed, also potentially score in-game goals with it. The other 3 fish, though, are kind of left just swimming and you could put other tiles around them to help them fulfill it. Although what you can do, what I have found the most freeing in the game, was being able to spin those seashells to move those fish to other tiles to help complete those. And so your fish are kind of moving all over the board. You're trying to be efficient in the ones that you draft so that you can use them multiple times potentially throughout the course of the game.
Yeah. One rule we didn't mention is when you complete coral, if you complete more than one on your turn, you don't just automatically get to complete it. You have to complete them in an order. And so if you complete one and flip it over and you use, say, the fish on the left of it to place on top, and now there's a gap to the one that you were going to also complete, it has an empty open space. So you'll need to be strategic in the order that you're completing your tiles, because it may make a difference as to if the fish are going to move onto a tile or not.
Correct. Now, as we mentioned, we are playing with prototype components. However, everything in our game was screen printed. The fish looked sharp. The punch boards for the tokens were solid and thick cardboard. If you want to learn more about the finished campaign, you can definitely check it out on Kickstarter to see exactly what you're going to get for your base pledge and all those different types of things.
Yeah, if this sounds like something you're interested in, check it out on Kickstarter. And once again, thank you so much for liking and subscribing and checking out our videos here at Tantrum House.
Creatures that they're trying to nourish. What are they trying to do? Feed them? What do the fish signify? Shallow Sea Great Barrier Reef is coming to Kickstarter soon, and it's a game that will have you building out your own ocean ecosystem. That's what it's called, correct? Mm-hmm. Coming to Kickstarter soon, and it's a game where players will be attempting to build out their own fish ecosystem, oceanography.